Welcome to the Tech Mobility Podcast, brought to you by Playbook Investors Network, your strategic partner for unstoppable growth. Visit pincommunity.org to get started.
I'm Ken Chester.
It's time for the Tech Mobility Show with Ken Chester, your trusted source for news, insights, and perspective at the fast-moving intersection of mobility and technology. Brought to you by Playbook Investors Network, your strategic partner for business growth. Visit pincommunity.org to get started. And now, direct from the historic AON studios, here's your host, Ken Chester.
Real facts, real opinions, real talk. Welcome to the Tech Mobility Show with me, Ken Chester, your front row seat to the stories and trends driving mobility and technology. As usual, we got a lot ahead, so let's get started. On the docket, my impressions and review of the 2026 Toyota GR Corolla, the hidden cost of municipal infrastructure, and no more teachers. AI goes to school. To join the conversation, be it to ask a question, share an opinion, or even suggest a topic for future discussion, call or text the Tech Mobility Hotline. That number, 872-222-9793, or you can email the show directly, talk@techmobility.show. From the Tech Mobility News Desk, let's talk Hyundai for a minute. I reported here, maybe a month or so ago, I did a review on the Hyundai Santa Cruz. And while Hyundai was not the first automaker to merge a car body with a cargo bed, because GM and Ford, and if you're in Australia, Chrysler did it for a minute. Even Volkswagen did it for a hot second back in the 80s. You would have thought it would have caught on. But here's the thing. Being a unibodied built vehicle based on the Tucson SUV, which was based on the Elantra car, that back seat was tight. It was really tight. You could get some folks in there, but nobody big. So really what you were looking at was a two-seater with maybe room for two folks in a pinch if they weren't too tall and you weren't driving too far. The cargo area, well, if you were a weekender that didn't haul a lot of heavy stuff, you could probably get away with it. But what Hyundai learned is what Chevrolet learned, GMC learned, Ford learned, and Chrysler learned. There is a limited interest for that. And particularly, by the time you get that thing equipped the way you wanted to, it was $50,000. It wasn't happening. Meanwhile, they claimed it was going up against the Ford Maverick. And the modern-day Maverick, when it came out back in 2020, where you could get the base entry-level one, and it was a hybrid for $19,995, Ford Motor Company proved there was a market at that price point. That vehicle was sold out for 3 model years. And if you didn't order up front, you weren't getting it for a while. And it's still very versatile because it's more of a truck than the Hyundai was. You had both gasoline or hybrid, and it was geared for urban folks, and it actually had some utility. The reason why I'm bringing this all up, Hyundai has a second act. And what they're talking about is a body-on-frame truck. They have trained their sights like Nissan and Toyota before them, and they're going to build a body-on-frame truck for the U.S. market. This will be their first in the United States. Why? Why else? It's all about the money. Always has been. But also understand this. Hyundai's been on a roll, particularly in the last 20 years, and they've been in the U.S. market for over 40 years. Here's why I think Hyundai will succeed where Nissan failed. Nissan had a good idea, but I think somewhere along the way, Nissan lost their intestinal fortitude to slug it out. They didn't really support the truck. And here's the killer part. Nissan even had, based on that Titan frame, is the Armada, the Infiniti QX80 is built on that. They had a whole line of commercial trucks, vans built on that. And in fact, folks loved the vans, but at the end of the day, Nissan packed it all in, which okay, but they decided not to support the Titan. They just didn't get the traction. And they tried. They tried a diesel variant, but I don't think they tried hard enough. I think Hyundai is more realistic with where they're trying to go. They expect, well, first of all, unlike Nissan, which went all the way with a full-size pickup, it took Toyota a while to learn, because Toyota kind of halfway went in when they started with the Tundra. They started with a precursor called a T100, which was like kind of a three-quarter size, full-size pickup. They didn't really get honest until they built the Tundra. Hyundai's not doing that. They're going to build a midsize pickup. They expect it to arrive for the 2029 model year. They hinted at its vision for full-fledged trucks with the Boulder concept that they recently showed, a sleek, powertrain-agnostic utility set that it says can handle the toughest terrain. Hear what I said. Powertrain-agnostic. It means I could put an electric in there. I could put a hybrid in there. I could put a gasoline engine in there. And God forbid, I'm willing to bet if it called for it, and it would in some other countries, you could put a diesel in there. Hyundai invested $85 billion across their three model lines to bring EVs to the market. For the most part, they're pretty much all in on the vehicles they built. There's been a little bit of shell game delay on some of the late models, but the core models are still there, folks. In fact, they built a whole factory down in Georgia to build the Hyundai Ioniq 9. I reviewed that too. It's amazing. And when the mileage comes up for the range, if they can get that range up to 350, 400, they'll sell it all day. It's a good-looking piece that works. Same thing with the Kia EV9, which is based on the same architecture. These folks know what they're doing. They say that it's obvious that the only part left in our product portfolio is the body on frame. We have the credibility, we have the experience, we have the quality, durability, and reliability our customers want. And we want to bring that opportunity to our customers here in America. Consider Santa Cruz as maybe a warning shot or a research bed. Maybe it was never meant to get big numbers, but to just test the waters and learn some stuff. The Boulder, although only a concept, is aimed squarely at the growing off-road segment owned by the Ford Bronco and Jeep Wrangler. And Stellantis, if you're listening, your recent missteps with Jeep are giving people like Hyundai an opening. Fix the problem. I'm letting that settle for a minute. I'm still not over the fact that the last Wrangler I drove, a Jeep Wrangler, had a sticker price of $108,000. I'm not over it. Understand that the midsize truck market was given up for dead 14 years ago. Toyota kind of shouldered on, Nissan kind of shouldered on, but there wasn't really much interest until there was. Chevy came back with the next generation Colorado, GMC with the Canyon, now Ford with the Maverick, and now everybody wants a piece. I think Hyundai's probably doing the right thing. They learned a little bit. They're going to bring it in. They've studied. Because if you looked at their work, you will find that they've studied the market before they get there. That is very Toyota, and Hyundai's doing it. This truck will be successful. Question is, it's also going up against Scout, which should be out by then too. So they don't have it to themselves. And surely Ford and Toyota and Chevy aren't going to just lay around and play dead. Neither is Honda. They all have trucks in that market. The question is, depending on how Hyundai comes at them, will there be room? I think powertrain-agnostic says it all. It's a purpose-built pocket rocket on a mission. My impressions of the Toyota GR Corolla. You are listening to the Tech Mobility Show.
In business, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Playbook Investors Network, we connect visionary entrepreneurs with the strategies, resources, and capital they need to win. Whether you're launching, scaling, or reimagining your business, our network turns ambition into measurable success. Your vision deserves more than a plan. It deserves a playbook that works. Playbook Investors Network, where bold ideas meet bold results. Visit pincommunity.org today.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than AONmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. AONmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
Every great business starts with a spark, but taking it to the next level takes strategy, connections, and capital. That's where Playbook Investors Network comes in. We're your strategic partner for accelerating growth, navigating challenges, and capturing market opportunities before your competition does. Your business is more than an idea. Let's make it an impact. Playbook Investors Network. Your future starts here. Learn more at pincommunity.org.
Hi there. I see you've been across the street.
Yeah. It's for the kid.
How do you like those other cars?
Well, yeah. Well, yours is probably a little more expensive.
The new Toyota Corolla?
Yeah.
$1798.
Is that so? Well, how much extra for the interior trim package?
The what?
Well, you know, the carpeting, deluxe door panel, reclining bucket seats, cigarette lighter.
Oh, that's all standard on the Corolla. We do have a super deluxe exterior package, though.
Oh, how's that?
White walls, wheel covers, tinted windows, chrome trim, bumper guards. We don't charge extra for that either.
You don't?
No.
$1798.
$1798.
What about the front disc brakes?
Already included.
Undercoating.
Included.
See your nearby Toyota dealer and get your hands on a Toyota. You'll never let go.
The storage space?
Already included.
The year was 1971. That's 55 years ago. $1,798. Detroit had not realized what was coming. They would know by the end of the decade. But in 1971, they weren't even studying Toyota. And even then, Toyota was getting a reputation for value and dependability. And oh, in case you weren't listening, that was a Corolla. Yeah, Toyota Corolla. Solid, economical, bulletproof, and God forbid, boring. Built by Toyota since 1966, that vehicle's been in production continuously for 60 years. 60. Since 1997, some 31 years after it was introduced, the Corolla became the best-selling automotive plate of all time. More than the iconic Volkswagen Beetle. More than the legendary Ford Model T. By the 2021 model year, that's 5 years ago, the combined number produced around the world, Toyota Corolla, was 50 million vehicles. 50 million. The name Corolla is part of Toyota's naming tradition of using names derived from the Toyota crown for sedans, with Corolla meaning small crown in Latin. Manufactured in a number of countries, including its home market, Japan, and the United States, the 12th generation of the Corolla was introduced in 2018. Known internally as the E210, the current generation Corolla is produced in sedan, hatchback, and station wagon body styles. And no, the automaker does not offer the station wagon variant in the United States. Sorry about that. In 2022, however, Toyota introduced the GR Corolla. GR stands for Gazoo Racing, Toyota's official global performance division, which was born from a philosophy that roads build people and people build cars. Founded in 2007 by company president Akio Toyoda to push the limits of the vehicle durability, it evolved from a secret Nürburgring test team into a powerhouse dominating WRC, WEC, and Dakar, producing performance models like the GR Supra and GR Yaris. Based on the current E210 series Corolla hatchback, the GR Corolla is built in Japan and the United Kingdom and sold in more than 12 countries. As of this year, GR Corollas designed for North American markets are manufactured at the automaker's Burniston, England facility. Improvements for 2026 include 45.6 feet of additional structural adhesive in the front and rear sections of the body for improved body rigidity. This also improves rear grip for better suspension movement and direct feeling, helping to ensure consistent steering and stable cornering. A new secondary air intake duct helps optimize temperatures to deliver maximum engine performance for relentless power. Available in base and premium plus trim levels, power for the GR Corolla is provided by the G16E GTS 1.6-liter 3-cylinder gasoline turbo prime mover. Let me stop. I said 3-cylinder turbo. Yeah, three, not 4, 3. So this is a large 3-cylinder at 1.6 liters. And if that don't get you, it generates, and this is the company's numbers, I'm not making these up, 300 horsepower at 295 foot-pounds of torque. Let me stop right there. If in 2003 you had bought a brand new Chevy Silverado with a 5.3-liter V8, it would have made 303 horsepower. I want that to settle. That was a V8. This is a 3-cylinder turbo. 295 foot-pounds of torque. This sucker ain't taking no prisoners. Energy is communicated to the drive wheels via a 6-speed intelligent manual gearbox with rev matching or the 8-speed Gazoo Racing direct automatic transmission with steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Front and rear Torsen limited slip differentials are standard. Additionally, the driver can choose between 4 drive modes: Eco, Normal, Sport, and Custom on demand. The company's GR4 all-wheel drive system is standard. The default setting is 60-40 front to rear torque distribution with the ability to change to a 30-70 rear wheel bias. The GR4 all-wheel drive system adds even more capabilities with an on-demand knob that allows the driver to fine-tune performance of the all-wheel drive system further with normal, gravel, and track modes. The GR Corolla is equipped with the manual gearbox, also comes with something they call an on-demand intelligent manual transmission option. When engaged, the system optimizes shifts and helps to reduce shift shock. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Folks, if you're going to drive a manual, just learn how to drive it. If you're going to drive one, you should have all that drama. But then again, that's me. EPA fuel economy numbers are 21 city, 28 highway for the manual, 19 city, 27 highway for the automatic. Although the vehicle does specify premium unleaded gasoline, you can run 87 regular unleaded. And just as an aside, I didn't detect any loss in vehicle performance, especially at these prices. In case you were wondering, 0 to 60 times for the GR Corolla are 4.9 seconds. The electronically limited top speed is 142.9 miles per hour. Cargo capacity behind the second row is 17.8 cubic feet. So what did I like about the GR Corolla? Oh, let me tell you. Fast, nimble, crazy responsive when equipped with a 6-speed manual gearbox with tight, driver-inspiring handling and control. This hatchback has enough power to pull away in almost any gear without downshifting. Head-up display, small but useful entertainment screen, and heated front seats and steering wheel are welcome inclusions. What I didn't like about the Corolla, its low height may present a problem for entry and exit for some people. No spare tire. The interior is snug at best, cramped at worst. No place really for USB ports and cup holders. They're far and few between. And because of that taut damping of the suspension coupled with the short wheelbase, less than perfect road surfaces are punishing for driver and passenger. Storage space is rare, so much so that the concept of a long trip should be questioned. Toyota considers this a sports car, and it has a sports car price tag. Manufacturer's suggested retail price for the 2026 Toyota GR Corolla hatchback starts at $41,920 for the base manual, up to $47,965 for the Premium Plus automatic. Destination charges add $1,195. American cities are facing a hidden cost that is coming home to roost. This is the Tech Mobility Show.
You've got the drive. You've got the vision. Now you need the right partner to make it happen. At Playbook Investors Network, we power ambitious leaders with the tools, insight, and investment connections to move faster, grow stronger, and lead markets. We're more than advisors. We're your co-pilots in success. Because in business, standing still is not an option. Playbook Investors Network, fueling ambition, delivering results. Visit pincommunity.org.
Did you know that Tech Mobility has a YouTube channel? Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Each week, I upload a few short videos of some of the hot topics that I cover during my weekly radio program. I've designed these videos to be informative and entertaining. It's another way to keep up on current mobility and technology news and information. Be sure to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the Tech Mobility Show on YouTube. Check it out. Across the United States, cities are facing huge liabilities that remain invisible on their books. Dilapidated roads, bridges, and buildings. This is what happens when politicians ignore the long game of infrastructure maintenance, preferring to kick the can down the road for someone else to deal with. While falsely communicating to voters that tax relief is always the answer. Money returned without repercussions. Let me be blunt. That ain't true. Welcome to Topic B. People, what did you expect? Really? If you've got a city that is more bent on continuously lowering your taxes no matter what, while basic services deteriorate, roads, streetlights, sidewalks, snowplows, fire equipment, police cars, all that stuff costs money and lots of it. And what you find in a lot of larger cities, that a lot of this material, a lot of this equipment is past its designed useful life. And I don't mean by a year or two. The big problem now across the United States is bridges. And there are a lot of bridges that are well past, 20, 30, 40 years past their designed life. Or they are taking on way more than they were ever designed to handle, whether it be traffic or people or how they're being used. This is a survey they did trying to get a handle on what it would even cost. They looked at 2,000 cities in the United States. And just to give you a reference, just a rough reference, a little bit, they said that just the wear and tear, cost of wear and tear, not replacement, cost of wear and tear, $1.03 trillion with a T. What does that mean? It means that even if your city is trying to catch up, you're looking at many billions of dollars because previous administrations and previous town fathers left it for somebody else, meaning you, to worry about. So how did we get here? Well, let's go back 12 years. 12 years ago, those organizations that regulate the books for government and municipalities required the cities started showing on their books the cost of future payouts for pensions and stuff. Cities weren't accruing for them. They weren't showing up in the books. That had a real expense. And for some cities, it really jammed them up. Services shrank, taxes went up. Well, if that's the case, then guess what got pushed out? Infrastructure. Why? Because infrastructure, currently, the cost of replacement is not required to be carried on the books. So it's like a hidden problem until either a bridge fails or something crumbles or people get hurt. Or you've got schools that leak and have mold and God knows what else. Or city parks you have to close because the pools that were built in the 1960s should have been replaced in the 1990s, and it deferred, delayed. Give you an example. In the case of Boston, Massachusetts, their public transportation outfit is called the Metropolitan Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority, called the MBTA for short, and for those of us that know and love it, we call it the T. Years of deferred maintenance, decades. And they're now looking, they said, now to bring the T back to operational okay. I'm not talking about building anything new, just getting it back to where it needs to be. $24 billion. We're not even going to talk about the shortfall at the fare box right now and all the other problems they've got. Just to get the plant they've got right now back to where it needs to be. They got signals. The companies don't even make, the companies that made them aren't around anymore. They can't get parts for them. Systems that are shot, old, way past replacement. Don't get me start talking about bridges. Everybody's got that problem, including Iowa, especially Iowa. How okay are you going across a bridge that they said is structurally deficient? Oh, it's okay, though. It's okay. Really? They had a bridge collapse in Providence, Rhode Island. Screwed up traffic, still screwed up, be for years. Other places where there was a stretch, maybe 30 years ago, on Interstate 95 in Connecticut, over a river. It just fell. It failed. Fell. It wasn't hit by anything. Fell. An interstate. Much the same way cities, towns, and states had to deal with pension liabilities 14 years ago. That day of reckoning is coming faster and faster, because if you've got a city that's been around 100 years or more, what are you looking at? Well, we'll start with the stuff you can't see. That's water delivery and waste treatment. Underground, in some cases, this stuff's been around 100, 120 years and has been passed. Some of it's even still brick. We've had that problem in Des Moines. And if you're in a town that's old enough, wastewater is mixed with what they call runoff in the sanitary sewers, which every time you get a hard rain, you got a mess. It'll take millions, if not billions, just to straighten that out, to separate the runoff from the sewage. Because in a lot of cities, still they're commingled. But you don't see that, though. It's a hard sell because it really, at first, doesn't add any value, and it adds to the tax rate, and God forbid, you don't want to pay more in taxes. Now, I get that. Understand, I'm not saying, that they should up the taxes and you should have to deal with it. No, I'm not there. But I'm talking about a realistic expectation. If you're expecting city services, look around at your city. Is the city spending what it needs to for infrastructure, for streets, for police protection, for fire protection, public works, trash pickup? How old are these vehicles? Are they safe? What about your roads? What about your bridges? Are they safe? Is the city spending what it needs to? And if it does, then it means that they're going to have to come in with that money some way, and don't expect the state and the feds to always be kicking it in, although there are a lot of programs where they can tap into it. But that ain't going to pay it all. I never understood, really, how people could expect something for nothing and then want to have a fit when the stuff that they're not funding fails. I don't get that part. It costs money to run a city. It costs money to be safe. It costs money to have protection. Clean water, safe sewage, decent police protection, all cost money. And if they can't get it from the citizens, where are they going to get it from? Cities have been pushing this because it was not politically expedient to have to tell the truth. And they could hold off as long as the infrastructure held up. Well, guess what? Them days is over. A lot of these bridges, 50, 60, some 100 years old. Do you feel okay on your morning commute? Do you think all that infrastructure is all right? You should ask yourself that. And if it's not, how are we going to pay for it? That's the real question right now. You're not going to get there for free, people. It don't work that way. It just don't. So, no more teachers. AI heads for school. We are the Tech Mobility Show.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than aonmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. aonmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. That's techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
In business, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Playbook Investors Network, we connect visionary entrepreneurs with the strategies, resources, and capital they need to win. Whether you're launching, scaling, or reimagining your business, our network turns ambition into measurable success. Your vision deserves more than a plan. It deserves a playbook that works. Playbook Investors Network, where bold ideas meet bold results. Visit pincommunity.org today.
Did you know that Tech Mobility has a YouTube channel? Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Each week, I upload a few short videos of some of the hot topics that I cover during my weekly radio program. I've designed these videos to be informative and entertaining. It's another way to keep up on current mobility and technology news and information. Be sure to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the Tech Mobility Show on YouTube. Check it out. Boston is the latest city to grapple with replacing teachers with AI. Alpha Schools says that individualized AI tutors help students complete coursework in 2 hours a day without the need of teachers' lectures. Is this hands-off approach a good thing? You know I got questions. This is Topic C. Let me start with this. I am a proud product of public schools. I grew up going to public schools. I've never seen the inside of a private school. And I think I did okay. I can read, I can write, I can count, and I can reason. Now, there's a lot of conversation about where education is going these days, and we're not going to have that conversation, not today. But I really think that replacing flesh and blood teachers with an AI program, no. And here's the thing. Alpha School wants to do this in Boston. They've done it in other cities. The tuition to go to this school is $55,000 a year. 55. Is this the next range of where people that can will, leaving the rest of us with dwindling resources and less opportunity? That's what I see straight up. Now, a little more about this Alpha School. This controversial but growing network of schools has 500 students across a dozen locations from California to New York right now. The private for-profit schools claim children can, quote, crush academics, unquote, in just 2 hours a day with AI, freeing up more time for physical education, arts, workshops, science projects, and more. They want to put in a kindergarten through 8th grade school for 25 students in a Tony section of Boston known as Beacon Hill. I used to live there. With the goal of doubling to 50 for the following year. Did I mention a tuition of $55,000 a student? My whole college experience didn't cost that much money. Fact about it, my whole college experience, I think, cost less than $5,000. But yeah, it was a long time ago. Don't judge me. The problem that is here, in addition to the affordability, is if the school board in Boston gives the okay, they don't have any oversight over the teaching methods. They don't have any oversight about the effectiveness. How do you judge that? Alpha says that their kids test higher. I contend and I push back that, number one, if you are in an environment with 25 kids, how's your social skills? In my school, in my high school, my graduating class was small. It had 163 in it. Our whole school probably was 8 through 12. My guess is maybe we had 600 kids in our little town of 8,500 just in the high school. And yet in Massachusetts, I know schools where graduating classes was 400 or more. Not our place. There's a certain amount of socialization. There's a certain amount of seeing how the kid's doing, maybe picking up on cues that AI ain't going to pick up. And we don't know nothing about these programs. Number one, the program's only as good as the people who programmed it. Number two, how do you know what biases are in the programming? And I'm not to say that no teacher doesn't have a bias. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that at least with the teacher, there's some transparency. I mean, your kids come home with assignments. You talk to your parents. You figure this out. If all this is being done with AI, and I'm assuming no homework, then what do you know what your kids are really learning? And how do you know if your kid's getting it? Now, they claim they'll have, what do they call them? Some sort of, they're not tutors. They're guides. Here's the thing. Those guides that replace the teachers, those guides, aren't required to have teachers' licenses. So where are these people coming from? But they're near your kids, though. Who's screening them? What kind of interaction are they going to have with the kids? How do I know they're safe? I don't. Critics have raised questions about the effectiveness of Alpha's tactics, particularly growing concerns about AI and the amount of time children spend on screens. I'm here to tell you, I don't care what AI you use. AI occasionally hallucinates. If this, and I don't know, is this human curated? Who has vetted this teaching program or this teaching plan that AI is going to give them? How do I know as a parent that I would be okay with the curriculum that they say they're going to teach? And who's monitoring in case AI goes off? Because it does. I'm here to tell you, I've used AI. I use AI. And occasionally it goes off. It ain't that perfect, not yet. And I'm not okay with this. Now, they argue and they push back that, oh, gee, you know, this program is self-paced. It meets the kid exactly where they are. Really? Some searchers contend that classrooms built around algorithms ignore curiosity and love of knowledge that play a fundamental role in learning. How many people have been influenced or encouraged by a teacher to pursue something that they were really good at? And the teacher saw that potential and encouraged the child. Or maybe saw something in the child that was beyond the lesson, was able to encourage them or help them or support them in a way that this algorithm ain't going to do. You lose that. You lose the interaction. Are we going to become even more so an isolated country with just our screens? And that's it? Don't know how to communicate to another human being? Is that where we're going? Well, certainly if you're giving this to AI and you're indoctrinating, because remember, they're talking about a school, kindergarten through 8th grade, kindergarten. Do I want my kindergartner exposed to AI at 5 and 6 years old? No, I do not. I absolutely, positively do not. It's not healthy. It's not good. They complain that the current way of teaching is outdated and doesn't respond. I disagree. I think there's a lot more, just like going to college, there's a lot more to it than the teaching. There's interaction skills. There's other opportunities that are related to, but not directly influenced by, the school experience. And I hate to say it, both good and bad. But you know what? That's part of your learning. How you learn to deal with life. If I'm sitting in front of a screen 2 hours a day, I'm not learning how to deal with life. And as far as these other activities, I don't know. I got questions. Because you're outside of the school framework, so I don't know what rules are being followed and what's being vetted in terms of what my child would be exposed to.
This is the Tech Mobility Podcast.
Every great business starts with a spark, but taking it to the next level takes strategy, connections, and capital. That's where Playbook Investors Network comes in. We're your strategic partner for accelerating growth, navigating challenges, and capturing market opportunities before your competition does. Your business is more than an idea. Let's make it an impact. Playbook Investors Network. Your future starts here. Learn more at pincommunity.org.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than aonmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. aonmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
You've got the drive. You've got the vision. Now you need the right partner to make it happen. At Playbook Investors Network, we power ambitious leaders with the tools, insight, and investment connections to move faster, grow stronger, and lead markets. We're more than advisors. We're your co-pilots in success. Because in business, standing still is not an option. Playbook Investors Network, fueling ambition, delivering results. Visit pincommunity.org.